Hey everyone! Welcome back to another commentary. Today we'll be going over Dragon Hunter Sonic, the recent balance changes, and the upcoming content for the game. So, let's get started. So, we'll start with Dragon Hunter Sonic. So, Dragon Hunter Sonic is our newest Dragon Hunter, and he's got a pretty cool design. I'm wondering if we'll get a team versus event between him and Dragon Hunter Lancelot in the future. That'd be pretty cool. But anyways, so Blazing Arrows is similar to Fireball, but with less damage. And to make up for the less damage, they gave it guaranteed X3 pickups, no matter what level it's on. So even if your character is level 1, you're always going to be picking up 3 Blazing Arrows, which is a pretty crazy pickup rate. I'm glad this item doesn't do a whole lot of damage, because if it did more damage, that pickup rate would be even more insane than it already is. It's a pretty good projectile. You can spam it really easily because of the guaranteed X3, and it has good range, but it doesn't go through walls just like a fireball. So you gotta make sure to use it in an open area. Then, for his trap, Dragon Trap, it's a reskin of Ice Mines. It works the exact same, and thank goodness it doesn't have the lockup property where if you hit an obstacle you don't break out, because I hate that about lockup. I mean, I didn't hate lockup originally when it was on Detective Vector, mainly probably because no one really uses this character. But when they gave it to Sheriff Sonic and how easy it combos with Lasso and you can't see it that well, I really started to hate that mechanic a lot. So I'm glad Dragon Trap doesn't have that. And then for his boost, we have Dragon Flight from Dragonfire Sonic. Rip to Dragonfire Sonic's uniqueness, I guess. But, I don't know, I find it a little bit weird that they gave him Dragon Flight, because, you know, a person that hunts dragons also has the power of a dragon. Just a little weird to me, but it's a really good boost. It's always been a great boost, no matter how much they nerfed it. It's only ever been really outclassed, even after the nerfs, because it just kept getting outclassed by the crazier boosts that they kept making past Dragon Flight after the nerfs. But overall, Dragon Hunter Sonic's a pretty solid character. He's got a good combo with Blazing Arrows into Dragon Trap, and Dragon Flight will always be a great boost. So, now we'll move on to the balance changes. So, after almost 4 months of no balance changes, we finally got one. So first up, we have Sheriff Sonic. Speedster Saloon got its damage reduced for the doors. That's a pretty alright change, but I don't think that's enough, because they didn't do anything about how fast the boost is, they didn't do anything about how the boost can stack, and the doors still have an instant hitbox. So I still think Sheriff Sonic is going to be one of the best characters in the game, if not still the best character in the game. We'll just have to see. I don't know if a damage reduction to the doors is really going to change much for him. Then next we have Lucky Horseshoe from Outlaw Shadow getting its damage reduced, which is nice. It did a whole lot of damage for a boomerang attack, but they didn't do anything about the crazy high pickups the item has. So it's still going to be a super spammable boomerang attack that's pretty difficult to see. So it's still probably going to be a great attack. I think they should reduce the pickups to where that it only gets a maximum of guaranteed X2, similar to Sir Gawain's Gale Meteor. But we'll just have to see if they do that in the future. I hope they will, because that item's still probably going to be pretty crazy. Then next, Outlaw Shadow also got his highway robbery speed reduced, which is nice. But they didn't do anything about the boost's crazy duration, so I still think this boost is going to be really good, even after the nerf. Then next, we have Sir Lamrak getting another buff with Spinning Slash, duration and damage increased, and Twin Blades duration and damage increased. And this is great for Lamrak. The damage actually feels pretty good on him now, and his boost doesn't feel completely terrible anymore. It now feels like a better version of Sir Percival's boost, which is good. Glad to see Lamrak finally getting a buff that's actually good. Then next we have Cyclone from Chronosover getting a duration increase and a chance of X2, which is okay, I guess. I mean, I feel like instead of this, they could have increased the damage of the clones, because the clones still do really little damage. So the chance of X2 is appreciated and the duration increase is nice, but I feel like they could have done a damage increase instead. Then next we have Invincibility getting its speed increased, which, I don't know, I'm a little bit iffy on this, mainly just because we're kind of just reverting back to how Invincibility was last year during Invincibility meta. I get why they buffed it, because with all the crazy mini boosts they've introduced this year, the Invincibility characters have a really hard time keeping up. But I don't know, I just not a big fan of them going back to how things were last year, because I wasn't a fan of it last year. But hey, we'll see how good it is against the mini boosts now. I feel like Vector, Knuckles the Dread, and Paladin Aim are going to be really great again. But we'll see how that goes for them for the rest of the season. Then next we have Magnet getting its damage and duration reduced, which is nice. Magnet still hits really hard though, so it's still quite devastating to get hit by this item. And they didn't do anything about triple boost with its no timer infinite stacks. So hopefully they'll do something about that in the next update, because that's the main thing keeping Rival Sonic being insane. So I don't see Rival Sonic budging from being one of the top characters in the game. Then next we have Mephiles with Dark Embrace getting its duration increased, which is pretty good for Mephiles. I mean, Mephiles in general is not really that great of a character in the current meta, because he's just a bunch of spam, and he doesn't do ring damage, so it's not the greatest, and then his boost isn't really that great. But with this buff, it's a bit better, so that's pretty good for Mephiles. Then next we have Werehog getting Dark Blast duration increased, which is interesting. I don't know why they're buffing Werehog. Werehog was already a really strong character, like top 15, but they buffed him for some reason. Don't know why. I don't think he needed any buffs. But it sort of is what it is. I mean, I tested it. The buff doesn't seem that huge, so hopefully it won't be too much of an issue, but we'll just have to see. Then next we have Pyromine getting a chance of 2, which is, I mean, I feel like Pyromine was already a really good trap, so I don't think it needed a chance of 2, but it is what it is. I don't think it's going to break any of the Lunar New Year characters, though. Maybe Blossom Amy, because of the mini boost combined with it, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how that plays out for the future. Also, a couple of my friends use Lantern Silver. I bet they're really happy about this. Then next, we have Blue Tornado Blast getting its damage reduced, which is fine. The damage reduction isn't really that much. But then again, Extreme Gear Supersonic in general is not really that great of a super, mainly just because he only has one good item, that being Blue Tornado Blast. Otherwise, Extreme Gear Slam is extremely situational. So reducing the damage of Blue Tornado Blast I don't think was necessary, but it's fine. That item was super annoying. And then finally we have Electric Rush and Slipstream Whirlwind getting their speed and durations reduced, which is good. Nice to see the Extreme Gears finally getting a nerf after that extremely unnecessary buff they got back in July. But I don't know, I still feel like they're going to be really good, because I don't think they touched how fast the mini boost is when you're in the trail. Because if we look back to the Discord posts back in the Hardlight Discord server, from the July patch, they specifically noted that they increased the speed gain from the mini boosts, but here they only said speed reduced of the actual Whirlwind itself, so I think the speed of the mini boost is still the same. So the Extreme Gears are still probably going to be really good, but the Whirlwinds themselves are laughably slow now. It's honestly pretty funny. But overall, I'd say the balance patch is decent. They definitely could have done more to the Western characters. I feel like Sheriff and Outlaw are going to need another round of nerfs in the next patch, hopefully. And there were a couple of characters they missed in the patch. Like, for example, they didn't do anything about Phantom Rider's Octo Ink. Like, they didn't do anything about the instant hitbox or how much damage the item does. I feel like we could have at least been in store for a damage reduced on Octo Ink. But hopefully that'll be in the next patch, I guess. And Movie Super Shadow still got nothing again. I'm hoping they'll at least reduce the speed of the mini boost again, because I still do not like supers with mini boosts. But we'll just have to see how the next balance patch goes. But anyways, let's do some races and I'll just talk about the upcoming content for the game. So first up on the upcoming content was something that was announced before this recent update with Dragon Hunter Sonic and the balance patch, which was a big change to seasons. So they're going to be changing the way seasons work. They're going to be increasing the amount of trophies you can get after multiple wins in a row, I guess. And they're going to be increasing rewards in general. So that's going to be interesting. And they're going to be adding tier 11. So there's finally going to be a 7K trophies roll. So that'll be pretty interesting. Honestly, I'd say they handled the announcement of this change much better than level 20. Mainly just because with level 20, they didn't give us any information about what was going on with that update until that update was happening. But this time they actually took the time to explain what was happening with the update, which I really appreciate. I'm hoping this change will be good. From what they described, it doesn't sound like a bad change, so that's at least good. Alright, nice, we got the win. But we'll just have to see how the change turns out. I'm very curious about the trophy reset aspect of it, though, because they specifically noted that you're going to be reset down 1,000 trophies less from where you finished at the end of a season. And in the message, they gave the example of if you finish with 10k trophies, you'll get reset back to 9k. So that's going to be interesting, because I feel like that's going to make climbing even higher every season really easy. So you're going to be breaking your personal best like every season, I guess, because you're only going to be reset down 1,000 trophies. So, and obviously you can get more trophies in a season than 1,000, so I have a feeling people are going to be climbing even higher than before, as if the inflated season last season wasn't enough of people getting new personal bests. But I'd say I'm decently looking forward to it, especially the buffed rewards. That's the main thing I'm looking forward to with this change, because with the level 20 update, we were in desperate needs for more rewards. So hopefully the buffed rewards will be good. We'll just have to see. Then, moving on, we have more upcoming characters. So for the upcoming characters, we first up have Doom Shadow, which is going to be pretty cool. Honestly, Doom Shadow should have been added with the release of Shadow Generations last year, but he wasn't, so better late than never, I guess. He'll be pretty cool. I'm guessing he's going to work like a super character, because the Doom Wings in Shadow Generations are the super form equivalent of that game. Oh my gosh, a level 18 boss cage Sonic. Oh boy. But yeah, I have a feeling Doom Shadow's going to work like a super. And if I had to guess what his moveset's going to be, I'm going to guess that his projectile is going to be Doom Spears, and then his trap is going to be Doom Blast. That's just my guess, though. Alright, took care of Movie Super Shadow, good. But we'll just have to see what Doom Shadow is like. Honestly, I'm looking forward to him. I think it'll be pretty cool. Then next we have Reindeer Knuckles, which will be a cool Christmas character. It's been a while since we got a new one of those, due to, you know, last year we had the movie events during December, so obviously they couldn't do any of that. Christmas recaps. They did the Christmas recap early last year. It was in, like, November. Oh, I got hit by a tree. Alright, couldn't get him. That's okay. But yeah, it'll be nice to get a new Christmas character. And I'm hoping they'll do a good Christmas recap this year, because I want to try and get cards for Snowdrift Sonic. But we'll see how that goes. Then next after that, we have Ragnarok Silver, which will be a pretty cool character. I love his design. He looks awesome. And also, funny enough, Ragnarok Silver is the first Silver variant since Chrono Silver, I think, from 2023. So it's been like 2 years since Silver got a variant, so gonna be nice to get another one for him. And also, apparently, Ragnarok Silver is going to be a challenger, so that's gonna be interesting. We'll just have to see how that goes. And then finally we have Riders Rouge, which is Extreme Gear Rouge. I'm very curious as to why she's called Riders Rouge and not Extreme Gear Rouge. I'm wondering if it's because they're going to be renaming all the Extreme Gear characters to just be called Riders characters. Or if in the teaser they just didn't want to type out Extreme Gear, so they just typed out Riders instead. We'll just have to see. Honestly, for the next Extreme Gear character, I was low-key expecting Extreme Gear Amy. Because, you know, they love doing Amy variants. But we'll just have to see. I bet Extreme Gear Amy will be one of the upcoming Extreme Gears. Right, nature effect. I switched lanes way too much there. Okay, third. But yeah, that's all the upcoming content for the game. Some pretty exciting stuff. I hope all the upcoming content will be cool and we won't get any super insanely busted characters. Because I've had enough of that for this year. But we'll just have to see. You know, they love making broken characters. Especially broken challengers. Okay, Movie Tails is taking the lead. It's gonna be pretty difficult to hit him because of his shield chaining. I think I'm just gonna try and clutch boost him last second. Let's see if I can get a boost. Nope, shield. Okay. Let's get past him right now because his shield's running out. Yep. Alright, cool. Alright, and I think I'll do one more race. Let's see how this last race will go. Alright. Warrior Shadow, Infinite, and Movie Tails. Alright. Okay, Infinite is already boosting. Interesting. Got Warrior Shadow. Alright, I'm gonna boost here. Course. Alright, boost again. Got Infinite. I guess I'll do the same thing again, just try and boost past Movie Tails last second. Just take the inside lane. Okay, his shield will be running out, so I can get past him now. Alright, cool. We ended off with a win. Very nice. Dragonflight is still a great boost. Even without any upgrades, I still think it's really good. But anyways, that'll do it for this commentary. Hope you guys enjoyed. Overall, Dragon Hunter Sonic's a pretty solid character. And the balance patch was alright. Could have been better on some nerfs. But I did like the Lamrack buff. And I'm looking forward to the upcoming content for the game. Hopefully it'll all be good. See you guys in the next commentary.